provide an overview of the Autochartist platform, and it's not really going to be around, actual trading strategies, around chart patterns or support and resistance levels. It is really mostly going to be around, what does the platform offer you. So I hope you get a good understanding of that. If there is some specific questions, I'll try to answer them. Otherwise, there is quite a substantial schedule of webinars coming up, and so I invite you to look out for more interesting kind of trading topics around the product in those webinars. So with that said, let's get going. I hope you can all see what I'm seeing, which is my Autochartist web application, and this is really the starting point of it all, right? I've selected this section at the top called Trading Opportunities, and this Trading Opportunity section is really the one of the cores of what Autochartist does, and then most of the other services are built around this core service. Now, although we call it Trading Opportunities, really what it is a market scanner for support and resistance levels in the market, okay, and chart patterns. Now, for those of you who know or may not know, so we're all on the same page, support and resistance levels are really what we would call psychological turning points in the market. So what Autochartist tries to do, it tries to identify these kind of turning points in the market, which in chart pattern or kind of psychology theory form these overbought and oversold levels in the market. And now, the theory has it that once the price bounces between support and resistance, and then there's a breakout, then there's a new trend that will follow. And so this is an example on the futures market I have in front of us right now, the Ultra T bond on CBOT. It looks like it's broken kind of 153.50, and we think it's going up to 154.43. Now, this forecast level is not some kind of guess that Autochartist provides. In fact, Autochartist, there's nothing new about what Autochartist provides. This is not a new type of analysis. The theory of support and resistance and chart patterns has been around since the 1930s. It started off as something called Dow theory, market theory, and this is actually Autochartist is simply an automation of chart pattern theory, or Dow theory as it used to be called many decades ago. So the way we provide our target region is actually purely based on Dow theory, right? And so what we do, and again, as you'll speak with most people and most professional technical analysts, and read in all your literature, chart pattern theory is not a science. It is more of an art. So what we do at Autochartist, although we provide you a target level that we think we're going to, we're like to highlight it in the kind of a gray block, and provide you a region of where we think the price is going. Autochartist identifies a number of these different types of occurrences. So it identifies chart patterns, both complete and emerging. Right? Let me show you what an emerging chart pattern looks like. It looks like there's a Euro-USD future has just come up with an emerging pattern. Okay, very, very interesting. And I'll mention a few other words about Euro-USD in just a moment. But let me zoom in there. Okay, what we can clearly see here is that the euro against the dollar, the euro has been trading in an upward channel or an upward wedge for quite a while now, and the reason why we call this pattern an emerging pattern is because it has not broken through support or resistance yet, right? It's still trading within its normal trading range, right? There's no breakout through support and resistance. Now, the theory of chart patterns doesn't really cater for this type of thing. Like the theory of chart patterns mostly talks about breakouts. However, the breakout patterns that I showed you, like one just a few moments ago, the T-bond, those are for what we call trend traders, right? People that want to follow the trend. However, many of us don't trade trends. We trade what they call mean reversion or market swings, right? Where we want to trade these movements between the highs and the low in the market, right? So a trend trader would wait for the price to break through a support level and then, trade the trend down. A mean reversion or a swing trader would trade the movements between the highs and the lows, right? So those are the differences between the two types of trading styles we see primarily with retail traders. I say retail traders because there are other types of trading, other types of trading techniques like statistical arbitrage, but we'll talk about swing trading and trend following trading for the purposes of this presentation. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that Autochartist is applicable to you both if you're trading trends as well as if you're trading swings in the market. Right? The next type of patterns that we identify, that I want to mention is we identify Fibonacci. Now, you may be wondering why I don't select Fibonacci in my, I didn't have it selected. I don't. The thing is that when I give a presentation, I don't want to give a presentation of something I'm not really familiar with. I know Fibonacci is quite a big following. I personally don't trade it. So, it's there in Autochartist. Do I trade it? No, I don't. Specifically because I feel that in any market, if you draw enough lines, one of the lines is about to hit. And so I'm pretty skeptical about the usefulness of it, although I must say I'm no expert and I haven't done enough analysis. I don't really have a mechanism through which to actually test whether Fibonacci levels have any significance in terms of predicting market movements. And so I don't actually personally trade Fibonacci, and I feel more comfortable if I disable them in this presentation. And then so the last type of patterns that I want to identify, and I see we don't have any breakout key levels here. We do have some approaching. Let me actually switch to maybe Forex and see if there's any. We do have some breakout key levels. Let me find the breakout key level we have right now on the market. Okay, so we have a breakout key level on New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc right now, and you can see it quite clearly. This is a support level, right? So this is not a chart pattern. This is just simply a support or resistance level. It looks like the daily candles have broken through a support level that Autochartist identified at 0.6764. And again, same theory as chart patterns. Autochartist provides a forecast down to 0.6468, where it thinks the price is going. Conversely, looks like we've got quite a lot of approaching levels here. The approaching levels, which is something I never mentioned before, the approaching levels are signaled by gray arrows, and the breakouts are signaled by red arrows. This gives you a quick visual cue as to what type of pattern it is. So here we have a very short-term opportunity which has just come up, and we know that it's just come up because it's got a little orange exclamation mark next to it, right? So this opportunity has just come up. It's an opportunity on pound Australian dollar, and what it's done is that Autochartist has said, hey, I have identified what seems to be a resistance level. It seems to have done it quite well. It seems to have been resistance here, a breakout, support here, a breakout, and now resistance here and a movement back up to that level. So Autochartist has done a pretty good job of identifying that level of 199.54 on GBP Australian dollar, and it thinks that it's going towards that level. So all of you may be wondering, when I started this presentation, I had these three icons set up. So these three tick boxes checked, right? So the completed chart patterns, the completed key levels, and approaching key levels. The reason I had those ticked is because those are the ones I personally trade. And you may be wondering why it is that I trade those alone. And that is because those are the opportunities on which we provide performance statistics. Right? You may be wondering why those are the only ones on which we provide performance statistics. Well, the answer is quite simple. Those three types of patterns are the only ones that chart pattern theory allows us to provide a target level. So we are then able to actually measure whether we have been successful or not in forecasting the market, right? So this here, before I say this, I have to make sure I give you a disclaimer. My lawyers are going to have a heart attack if I don't. These statistics are not an indication of whether you'll make money or not using our product. Remember, our product is simply identification of support and resistance in chart patterns. This is simply to show you, give you an indication of what types of chart patterns, which instruments, which instruments do well, what type of chart patterns, what time of day we identify patterns that do well. So it gives you an idea of what those statistics look like. So here's some examples. Let's say key level, approaching key levels on the FX market. Wow. Okay. We're doing really well over the last 6 months. Okay, so I haven't looked at these for a while because I kind of have them in my head, but clearly I need a bit of a refresh because we're now over the last 6 months up to about 80% correct rate, but that's actually not what I want to focus on. What I want to focus on are specifics, right? So, for example, in the last 6 months, GBP Swiss franc, we identified a total of 131 emerging key levels, of which 121 hit their target region. All right, that's a 92% hit rate. And so you can actually go through this list and actually figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Now, you might be wondering, wow, these are amazing stats, right? This approaching key levels is amazing. Let me just trade that. The trick here is that these approaching key levels sometimes are very, very short opportunities, right? Very, very small opportunities. Sometimes they're 5 pip or 10 pip movements that we're forecasting. So you have to be quick into the market and quick out of the market in order to take advantage of them. Let's look at something which is more kind of long term. If I'm looking at the breakout key levels, which is more for trend following, for the trend followers amongst you. So in the last 6 months, out of 1,200 or so, just under 1,300 identified breakouts, about 960 of them went to their target level. Again, now here the stats don't look as good, still 75%, which is phenomenal. I'm sure you'll agree with me. And then we rank them. So Euro Swiss franc over the last 6 months, we've done really well, over 81%. Let's look at some of the majors. GBP Swiss franc, 83%. AUD Swiss franc. Right. So there's a whole array of these. Let me quickly see if I can scan them to find GBP AUD, where GBP AUD is. Okay, so that opportunity we looked at earlier, GBP AUD, that's sitting on around 69% over the last 6 months, just to give you an idea of, of how to evaluate these stats. Now, as expected, and for some of you who know about chart pattern theory, the theory has it that the more liquidity there is, and therefore the longer the pattern, the more accurate it should be. Sorry, excuse me, I'm having a sip of my coffee. I haven't had my morning coffee yet. And so this we can see this quite clearly here, that the daily candles, the patterns identified on daily candles seem to be really good forecasters of what's coming up in the future. Again, past performance, again, disclaimer, past performance may not be indicative of future performance. So there's a few things to note. Firstly, that the longer patterns seem to do better. Secondly, certainly this is the FX market that I'm looking at right now. The FX market let's say the global center for FX is not New York and is not Tokyo. It is actually London. So these stats by hour of the day, right, are listed by GMT -4. So kind of the London session is somewhere, I guess, kind of somewhere here, and you can see that the stats during the London session are really far better than the stats during the US session or any other session, and the reason is simple. Again, if you just come back down to chart pattern theory, you would know that liquidity and volatility is really important in the market when analyzing these types of opportunities. And the last one I'll show you is Forex. So Forex with chart patterns. Okay, so this is the chart pattern opportunities on the Forex market over the last 6 months. So these stats, although this overall stats doesn't look that good at 66%, out of about 16,000 opportunities, 10,000 hit their target region. There are some really good gems here, right? For example, head and shoulders and inverse head and shoulders, over 80% hit rate. Double bottom has done really well. Double top has done really well. These are exceptional performers. And similarly, on the symbols themselves, have a look at the symbols that are doing really well. So what is it that how would you use these performance stats? You would essentially, if you want to start off, make a printout of these stats, put them on a table next to you, and when an opportunity comes up, you can simply reference your statistics page. Or you can do what I do, which is use the Our Favorites section. Okay, now, so the Our Favorites section, which I've switched to now, is basically a mixture of the trading opportunities along with the performance statistics. And what Autochartist provides you here is all the opportunities based on the past performance. Again, past performance might not be indicative of future performance. Okay, remember that. So if we're looking, let's say, at the futures market right now, and we want trading opportunities in the futures market right now with an over 70% probability based on past performance, Autochartist would filter that through for us and find us these two opportunities, one on NYMEX and one on CBOT. Right? So in this screen, we cannot choose which type of opportunities, whether they're chart patterns or support resistance levels. We're just getting opportunities based on past performance. So these are the opportunities right now on the Forex market, right? And some long-term opportunities. Interesting one on Euro USD. Long-term, we think it's going to 114. Euro Swiss franc up to 106.15. Some interesting opportunities, certainly that we see over here. Now, note, I think it would be silly for me not to just deviate away from Autochartist for just a moment. Remember, everybody, tomorrow Greece needs to pay back a lot of money, and you need to watch that very carefully. You don't know how the market is gonna react, so please be very cautious during either the Greeks' payment or the Greeks' default tomorrow, or refinancing. So just please watch that. I haven't been in the news for the last 2 days. I've been at a trade show, so I'm not sure if there's any updates on that. But certainly, with regards to my personal trading, I am switching off all my automated systems, and I'm not placing any trades in the market tomorrow. I would rather be safe than sorry. Yes, there's a lot of money on the table to be made, but also there's a lot of risk, right? So whatever you do, if you are in the markets tomorrow, please make sure it's with an amount of money that you are prepared to lose if the market moves against you or even gaps against you, right? Because if the market gaps, brokers are not going to honor the stop losses and take profit you've set, because they might not be able to fill you at that price, right? They might not be a counterparty to your trade. So please don't think that just because you've set a stop loss, you will get closed out and your risk is mitigated. So that's just a quick note on that. Please be careful tomorrow. Right. Now that I've spoken quite at length about Russian. Sorry, I'm actually looking here. I said Russian because I'm actually reading one of the questions. Ivan seems to be complaining about my English. Ivan, I'm really sorry if my English is not coming through very well. And Ivan is asking if we speak Russian. And I don't think we have any Russian webinars coming up. I do speak a bit of Russian, but not enough to give a webinar. So now that we've spoken about the trading opportunities, I want to skip to another core product of Autochartist called Volatility Analysis. This is quite an interesting product. In fact, many people believe it to be more valuable than our support and resistance identification product. So, I guess I'll let you be the I'll let you be the decider on that. So, what the volatility analysis section does is it provides you an indication of the amount of movement you're expecting for a certain instrument. Let me start kind of in the middle of the screen with the euro dollar, right? So what this gives you here is really the expected price movement range of euro dollar over every hour of the day, right? So you can see the hour of the day at the bottom, 0 to 23, right? And you see the price movement on the left. So it is quite clear to us. My Autochartist has said to Europe, London, quite clear to us that certainly the majority of the volatility happens during the London session, 8 a.m. through to 4 p.m. London, with a very big spike at the open of New York, right, 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. London time. The rest of the time, the volatility is quite, well, it's not low, but it's certainly not what it is during the London session. Okay. Now, why is this important to you? Let me tell you. Many people come into this market and they're told by educators and their brokers and their friends at the bar, make sure when you trade, set a stop loss. So many people go into the market, they choose a stop loss arbitrarily. They say, for example, I will choose a stop loss of 20 pips. Okay, right. Yeah, 20 pips. 20 pips and 10 pips seems to be very common in the retail FX space. I'm not quite sure why, but okay. So 20 pips. Let's look at this 20 pip line. I'll just draw a line across my screen, not a very straight line, but I'll try. Now, if you notice, when you're trading a 20 pip stop loss on euro dollar, it looks like that kind of movement is expected within 1 hour of trade, during off-market hours, right? So if you're trading those off-market hours and you want to hold your position for an hour, you're happy with that, you want to be in and out of the market quickly, then a 20 pip stop loss is good for you, right? However, if you're trading during the London session or any type of other volatile market session, you cannot place a 20 pip stop loss because you'll be knocked out of the market, right? You should be looking at 40 pip stop loss, 50 pip stop losses, depending on where you are, right? So what you want to do is, yes, you want to set a stop loss, but more importantly, what you want to do is you want to set a market appropriate stop loss, right? So that is the most important thing. What you don't want to do, and I hear it time and time again, I set my position long, I set a stop loss, the market hit my stop loss, and then it moved in the direction I initially forecast. I hear this again and again and again. And then what happens, the traders go and they blame the broker, you're chasing my stop losses, you want to make money from me, and that is absolute nonsense. The broker has absolutely no need to chase your stops. There's always a counterparty to your trade. It is entirely your fault. If you see that happening in your trading where you set a stop loss, it hits your stop and then goes the other way, you are setting stop losses which are not market appropriate and have not taken into account the expected volatility for that time of day. Okay, so rather do your homework, right? Spend a bit of time doing your homework before you set your stop losses and take profits. Let me scroll up a little bit and show you what I mean. So here is a slightly different graph. We call it the trumpet for obvious reasons. It looks like a trumpet. So what this provides you actually is not a 24, not a hour by hour breakdown over 24 hours. This provides you a forecast right now for the instrument you've selected. So I'm on Euro USD, right? And for the this is Thursday, 2:15 London time. I'm expecting by 3:15 the price to be trading between 112.44 and 113.10. By 6 o'clock this evening, I expect it to be trading between 112.23 and 113.30. Right? In the next 24 hours, that means by 2 p.m. Friday London time, I expect to be trading between 111.66 and 113.87. Right? So this gives you a very, very good idea of what type of volatility to expect in the market. So if you're now placing a trade right now on euro dollar and you need to go and take some time off to take the kids to school and kiss your husband goodbye or make him breakfast or whatever it is, and you want to be in the market by the time you come back, right, then you need to set your stop loss accordingly. You can't set it at 112.52 or 113.02. You need to set it for 1 hour or 4 hours time, right? Let yourself be in the market. Let's make sure that if you make a loss, you make it because you made the wrong prediction. Don't make a loss purely because of market noise, right? Okay. So this is very, very important, right? So Cam, yes, I actually just noticed Cam's question. Cam says, but it changes every 15 minutes. Do we need to adjust what the initial stop loss accordingly? Of course, you should be adjusting your initial stop loss. You know, there's absolutely no doubt about it. If you're not adjusting your risk according to where the market is moving, I mean, I don't know. I think you're probably a lazy trader. You need to watch the market. Are you in this to make a profit, or are you in this to gamble? Right? You need to decide that upfront. Okay, because there's other easier ways to go gamble. You can go to the casino down the road from you. Right? If you're placing a trade, you've got a stop loss, and the market moves in your direction, lock in some profits. Of course, move your stop loss. Right? Move your stop loss up or down in the direction that where you're starting to see some money, right? Give yourself room to move, but start locking in profits. I mean, there's no doubt about that. This is a money game. This is not a coin flipping game, where it's a 50-50 chance. The market moves in your direction. Don't be greedy. Take some money off the table. Lock in your profits by moving your stop loss closer or further away. And yes, of course, adjust your stop loss and take profits as the price changes and the time of day changes. Absolutely no doubt about that. Yeah. So let me quickly raise all these drawing objects. Okay. So I've spoken about the trading opportunities, the volatility analysis, and there's one thing actually I forgot to mention about the trading opportunities, and Yvette and Errol are probably angry at me, thinking that I forgot about it, and I did, and I'm sorry. Our favorites. This is the service that can be found on our mobile application. So if you all go to either the iTunes store or the Google Play Store, and you search for Autochartist, you'll find our mobile application. So you can download that, and then what will happen is that you can set your minimum probability, and your phone will kind of alert you when there's a new trading opportunity available. Now, it's not one of those apps that alerts you 25 times a day. It'll alert you just a few times a day when there's really good opportunities. So go ahead and install it, and feel assured that you're not going to be inundated with trades throughout the trading day. So go ahead and download that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly move on to the last part of my presentation because I'm already at 30 minutes. So okay. So I'm on the messaging and alerts tab. I think my screen is updated for all of you. Now, Autochartist gives you the ability to get email alerts for certain types of events. So the first type of alert that we can send you by email is a daily market snapshot. Okay, so that's available for, you know, the forex market, London, New York, a number of different markets around the world, depending on you know, on what you trade and depending on what version of Autochartist your broker provides you. So if you're looking, I don't know, at let's say the New York Stock Exchange, you can select whether you want to get this Asian session, European session, or US session. For the New York Stock Exchange, it wouldn't make sense to do anything other than you know, before the open of the US session. You can choose the language in which you want your report, and you can actually have a look at what type of report you would get. And this report you would get in your email every day before the session opens. So this is a report from the New York Stock Exchange. We've got the upcoming high impact events coming up for the day. So these are the events you need to look out for, right? Jobless claims already out. Okay, so a summary of the market movements. Okay, and just above it actually is quite interesting. There's a notifications panel. This is a demo version of Autochartist that I'm using. So we just notified everybody of today's presentation that I'm giving you right now. However, this is a notification panel you need to keep an eye on because your broker might be communicating, you know, any kind of special offers or their own webinars or any kind of interesting things that your broker wants to communicate. They'll be doing it there in that panel over here. And then the stuff you will be waiting for, which is the actual opportunity, right? So we think Time Warner is going up. We think Texas Instruments is going down, etc., etc. You know, similar things are available in the FX market. Now, this is what the latest FX report looks like. There's, you know, again, jobless claims coming up, and the purchasing managers index coming up. And again, oh, here's we're giving a notification of our to download our mobile app. We have some market movements. So here we go. We think that US dollar yen is going down for the next 2 days. And let's see what else is interesting. Oh, New Zealand dollar, US dollar up for the next 3 days. So these are kind of longer term opportunities coming through by email. The next thing we do is we provide what we call these correlating signals. Now, the last one we did was quite old because they're few and far between. But correlating signals are basically when we have a chart pattern and a support resistance level giving us an indication of a movement in the same direction. So the last one we got was actually a few days ago on US dollar Mexican peso, and this is where we actually, it's a bit small now because it's already expired. This is where we gave our forecast where we thought it was going to go up. It certainly went up through our target level, came back down again and back through our target level. Absolutely superb trading opportunity. If you missed that, watch out for the next one. So you can get alerted of those. And I strongly recommend you get alerted of those. They're really, really good, and they're very few and far between, right? You'll get one every few days, but they're really high quality opportunities. And the last type of email alert you can get is a high impact news event alerts. That's the same kind of thing that that you get in your market report, except yeah, over the next hour, the high impact stuff coming up over the over the next hour. So you can get alerted of those in your inbox as well. Okay, so again, download our mobile app. That's kind of our new drive at the moment. We're hoping it'll help you identify some very interesting trading opportunities. And I'm on about 30 minutes of my presentation, and Yvette and Errol are asking me probably asking me to stop. Can I see quite a lot of questions coming through. Let me glance through them and see if I can pick up anything that I can answer. Thank you, Jamie, for telling me my English is fine. And Elena, thank you very much. Yes, so the Adi, the app phone, the phone app works for Android and iPhone. We don't have a Windows phone as yet. A version of the app that works on a Windows phone. It's just Android. But the website, obviously, that I'm showing you now works on all platforms. Cam, good question. Cam is asking a lot of good questions. Could we add correlating signals patterns on the web rather than sending an alert? So Cam, yeah, we could do that, and we're thinking of actually doing that. However, the one issue that we have on the web application is that we believe those correlating signals to be of such a high value, we don't want them to get lost in the noise of the web application, and so we've decided to rather alert people. But thank you for that recommendation. We'll keep it in mind. Okay. Username and password. Carlos, the Autochartist service does not cost anything. It is free of charge. It is provided to you by your broker. So depending on who your broker is, you will get it free of charge. If you don't know if your broker provides it, please send us an email, support@autochartist.com, and we'll let you know how to get it specifically through that broker. Oh, Andrej, you don't have our favorites through your broker. That's rather interesting. Andrej, you should have it through that broker. Could you please send us an email to support@autochartist.com, and I will make investigations to find out why your broker doesn't have it. I'm not. This presentation is independent of any brokers, right? Many of you are customers of many different brokers, so I cannot provide any broker names in this presentation. So please drop us an email, and I will send you an update. Again, Carlos, Autochartist is free. Just register on our website. It is not a paid-for service. It is a free service provided by your brokers. We get paid by your broker. We don't get paid by you. So mostly you'll find the brokers that provide us are the brokers that want you to actually do well in the markets. So if they don't provide Autochartist, maybe you're with the wrong broker. We find mostly Autochartist is mostly used by most of the top brokers around the world. Most of the guys that are actually, concerned about your welfare. The rest of them you might need to move brokers. So yes, Adi, for some reason that broker has decided not to provide us anymore. There are definitely brokers that we can point you to. If you could drop us an email to support@autochartist.com, I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction for a broker in your area that does offer the product. If your broker doesn't, please let them know and ask them to provide the product. The more people that ask them, the more they consider providing our product to their users. With that, I hope that I've skipped over some of the questions, some of the more specific kind of registration questions. If you do have any more questions about registrations, usernames, passwords, etc., please send us an email, support@autochartist.com. We'll be more than happy to assist you with that. But with this, I conclude this presentation, and the webinar should be up tomorrow on YouTube. And if you registered for this webinar, you will get an email telling you where to find the recording by tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for your time. I hope you have a good day, and remember, watch out for the markets tomorrow. Be very, very cautious.